Hello, good morning, students. Today we are going to see the topic the design thinking process from the unit 2 process in design thinking. As we know, that design thinking is actually a complete mindset. This mindset and approach is towards problem solving and innovation, which are anchored around the human centered design. While it can be traced back centuries and perhaps even longer, it gained traction in the modern business world after Tim Brown, CEO and president of design company IDEO, published an article about it in the Harvard Business Review. So after that, the design thinking term has been popularized and becomes a well-known concept. Design thinking is different from the other innovative and ideation processes in that it is solution based and user centric rather than the problem based. That's why it's very special approach. This means it focuses on the solutions to a problem instead of problem itself. For example, if a team is struggling with transitioning to remove work, the design thinking methodology encourages them to consider how to increase employee engagement rather than focusing on the problem without decreasing the productivity. So the various phases of design thinking are mentioned. There are totally 5 phases which are intuitive and natural. Phase 1, empathize, where we have to gather the high quality consumer understanding. Phase 2 is define phase. We have to create a brilliant design brief for all the stakeholders who are involved in the design thinking process. And in the second stage of the design thinking process has the other three phases. Phase 3, we need to ideate and collaborate with various people who are having similar interest, and we have to get contribution from various stakeholders. And in the phase 4, prototyping stage, where we need to hold the inspirational rapid sketch sessions or design thinking sprint. We have to come up with a timeline of process and development. That's what the prototyping stage. And we have to bring the skeleton of the entire product model. In the phase 5, testing, where we have to get a fast productive feedback from the human beings. It's completely testing phase before implementation and deployment of the application. So the 5 design thinking process or it is clearly highlighted, but in each phase is it's having its own feedback mechanism, and it is iterative uh, method approach is adapted in every stage or every phase of design thinking process, from the empathize stage to till the testing stage. So design thinking ideology is it's both an ideology and a process that seeks to solve complex problems in a user centric way. So it is focusing on achieving the 3 practical results and solutions which are mentioned: technically feasible, they can be developed into functional products or processes; economically viable, the business can afford to implement those things; and desirable for the user, which means that has to meet the real human need. So these 3 things are is ideology, the trinity of design thinking. So as the advantage of design thinking, with all the 5 phases or 6 phases, right? So design thinking is a user-centered process that starts with the user data, creates design artifacts that address real and not imaginary user needs, and then test those artifacts with real users. And it is a process of leveraging the collective expertise and establishing a shared language between the user and the developer, as well as in product point of view, it's buyer in amongst our team. It is also encouraging the innovation by exploring the multiple avenues for the same problem. Thank you. Let us see the next class.